Hello, in this video, I'm going to be covering all of the different blueprint communication methods in Unreal Engine. These are the ways in which we make blueprints share information with each other. There are three main ways: casting, interfaces, and event dispatchers. By the end of this video, you should have a much better understanding of how they all work. If you want to learn even more about Unreal Engine, I do have a full Unreal Engine Fundamentals course where I cover all of these essential tools and much more. Link in the description if you want to check that out more. With that said, let's get into the video. I have created this blueprint of a simple dog. I'm just going to open it up. It's just a actor blueprint which has a static mesh which I changed to a dog, and I have added a custom event called bark, and when this custom event is fired, it will print shrink woof onto my screen. So I want to make it so when my player character goes up to the dog, it will bark. One blueprint communication method that I can use to achieve this is casting. Casting is a way for Unreal Engine to check if a given object is of a specific type you can expect, and if it is, you gain access to all of its functions and variables. So, to show you what I mean, inside of my first person character, I'm just going to right click and look for the cast to, and I can cast to any blueprint or actor in my project. I'm going to look for cast to dog, and if I just select it, I'm just going to go over to my dog blueprint. In my dog blueprint, I also created a variable called name, and it just has the name of my dog. And if I just drag off this as BP dog, I'm going to be able to access all of the functionality inside of it. So I can call the bark function. I can get any variable it has, so I can get its name, and so on. With the cast, we need to basically specify the object of where we're getting the cast from. This object is a reference to a general unknown object that you want to check. So let's put this all together. If I just select my character's capsule component, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go over to onComponentHit. And I'm just going to connect from other actor into object here, and from this execution pin into here. So if this other actor is the dog, then this cast is going to succeed, and I'm going to be able to get all of the information from my dog actor, and I can make it do something. So I can make it so when my player's capsule component hits the dog, I will call the bark function. If I were to minimize this blueprint, and then I drag my BP dog somewhere into my level, if I now play my game, and I go up to the dog and I hit it with my capsule collision, we can see it will call the bark event, which will cause my dog to woof. Let me just go back to my first person character. So that's how we can use the casting to basically make two blueprints communicate with each other. Although if say my capsule component hit something which was not the dog, then the cast would fail. So I have also made this blueprint parrot. It's very similar to the dog, it's just a static mesh of a parrot. I'm just going to drag it in, and then I'm going to go over to my first person character, and if the cast fails for some reason, I'm going to print string fail. So when my capsule component hits something, it's going to check to see if that object is the dog, and if it's not, then it's going to fail. So if I compile this and I play my game, let's say I go up to this parrot, we can see the cast is failing. So with casting, it will only work if you can get access to the specific object that you want to cast to. So in this case, the cast did not succeed because the object that I hit was the parrot and not the dog. I'm just going to showcase you another example of casting. So if I just minimize this tab, I'm going to go over to my level blueprint and event begin play. So I'm just going to right click and look for event begin play. I'm just going to cast to my first person character, and I'm going to launch them up in the air. So I need to get a reference to my first person character. One common way that you'll find that loads of people get reference to the player character that you're playing the game as is to just right click and look for the get player character node. This will basically give you a reference to the character you're playing your game as, and I can just drag off here and look for cast to first person character. This will work because I'm playing the game as this character. And then if I just connect from here to here, This will allow me to reference everything inside my first person character, and I can just drag off here and look for the launch character, and I will just launch them up 500 units in the z-axis. So if I compile this, so if I play my game, we can see as soon as it starts, it launched me up 500 units. Let me just go back to my level blueprint. So with casting, we need to make sure that we specify the object correctly. This is a reference to the general unknown object that you want to check. So in this case, I wanted to get a reference to my first person character, and this get player character node will basically return a reference of the character you're playing the game as. In my case, I am playing the game as the first person character, so this cast succeeded. Okay, so that's how casting as a blueprint communication method works. Hello, in this video, we're going to go over another way in which we can make two blueprints communicate with one another, and that is with blueprint interfaces. These are a collection of one or more functions. The functions of these interfaces can then be given functionality in each of the blueprints that they're added to. To show you what I mean, we're going to go through an example to help you better understand this concept. So, to create a blueprint interface, we can right-click, go over to Blueprint, and select Blueprint Interface. I'm going to call this my Blueprint _ Interface Interact. Then I'm going to double-click and open this up. I'm going to add this interface to anything that I want my player character to be able to interact with. If we just go over to Functions, we want to create a new function and call this Interact. So now our blueprint interface has a function called Interact. We can just compile this and save it. I'm then just going to add this interface to my dog and my parrot. So if I open up the dog, to add the interface to my dog, we can go over to Class Settings, then go over to Interfaces, go over to Implement Interfaces, and here I can look for my BP _ interact interface. We then just want to compile this, and you'll see it here. To access the function that we created inside of this interface, we can double click here, or we can right click and look for event and the name of the function you created inside of the interface. So I'm going to select it. I called it interact. So I can call the interact function from my blueprint interface interact that I set up just a while ago. And then I can basically code what I want to happen when something interacts with my dog. So I'm just going to drag off here. And I'm going to make it so when the player interacts with the dog will sit down. So I'm going to look for print string, and then I'm going to make this say sit. I'm also just going to go over to my viewport and go add, and look for a sphere collision. And I'm just going to expand this sphere. I'm going to make it so when the player basically overlaps this dog and then they press a certain key, the dog will basically sit down when I call the interact interface. We can compile this. I'm then just going to go over to my BP parrot, and I'll go over to Class Settings, and I'm going to add the BP interact interface, compile this, and then I can double click. That will also create it. And when the player interacts with this parrot, I'm going to make this print string, I am a parrot. And then I'm just going to go over to the viewport, go add, and look for a sphere collision. And we can just make this a bit wider. Okay, I'm going to compile this, and I'm going to go over to my first person character. I'm going to delete the casting example that I made last time. And instead, I'm just going to drag in my player character's capsule component. And I'm then just going to right click and look for the Z key. And when my player presses the Z key, I'm going to check to see if my player character is overlapping anything in their capsule collision. So I can drag off here and look for get overlapping actors. This will basically return me an array of all of the actors my player character is overlapping. We can drag off here and look for the for each loop node. So the way this will work is we'll basically run this for however many actors my player character is overlapping. And what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if any of the actors the player character is overlapping has the interact interface. So I can drag off here and look for does object implement interface. And I'm going to check to see if the actors, my player character, is overlapping, if they have the interact interface. So I'll just select it, and if that's true, I'll then have a branch, connect from here into here. I will drag off here, and I will call the interact, and we want to select this one, interact message, and I'll connect from true into here. And this, in my dog, will make it so it will sit down, and this in my parrot will make it say, I'm a parrot. So I can compile this, and let me just minimize this. If I play my game, let me go up to my dog, and I'm going to press Z, and we can see it will print string sit. Although if I go over to my parrot, when I press Z, it will print string I'm a parrot. So we can use blueprint interfaces as another way of making blueprints communicate with each other and send each other information. With blueprint interfaces, we can also give them inputs. So let me just create an input called example and compile this. And in my first person character, when I call the interact, I could choose the value of this. And then maybe depending on this variable, I could do something. So if it's true, maybe I'll do something. And if it's false, maybe I'll do something else. So normally I use blueprint interfaces when I want to create an interaction system between blueprints. That's all for this video. Hello. In this video, we're going to be going over event dispatchers. These are another way in which we can make blueprints communicate with one another. To show you an example, I'm going to open up my BP first person character. Then if we just go here where it says event dispatchers, we can click this plus button to create an event dispatcher. I'm just going to call this example. And then I'm going to right click and look for the 5 key. And when I press the 5 key, I'm going to just drag in my event dispatcher and I want to click call. So when I press 5, I'm basically going to be telling my Unreal Engine project I am calling this event dispatcher. And what we can do is we can make other blueprints listen out for when this event dispatcher is called. And when that happens, we can make certain things occur. So I'm just going to compile and save this. Then I'm going to just create a new blueprint, which is going to listen out for the event dispatcher. So I'm going to right click, go over to blueprint class. I'm going to select an actor. I'll call this my BP underscore cube. And I'm going to open this up. In components, I'm going to go add and look for a cube. Then I'm going to go over to the event graph and event begin play. I'm just going to right click and get my player character. This will basically get a reference to the character that I'm playing the game as. This is going to be the first person character. So I can drag off here and look for cast to first person character. And then what I can do is I can drag off and I can look for bind to example. And I can basically bind this cube to the example event dispatcher. So I'm just going to click it. And then I can just drag off here and I can look for add custom event. And I'm just going to call this change cube color. And then I'm going to drag off here and look for the flip flop node. And first I'm going to drag in my cube, drag off here and look for set material. I'll connect from A into here and I will make the material gold. And then I will just copy this, Control C and Control V. And then let me just get the starting color. So it's this basic shape material. I will then make it so my cube will go to the basic shape material. If you don't remember, flip-flop will first do A, then B. So in my first person character, when I press 5, I'm going to be calling this example event dispatcher. And in my cube, event begin play, I basically binded my cube to the example event dispatcher that I have in my first person character. So whenever I basically call this example, because I've binded it here, it's going to call this custom event, which will basically swap the color of my cube. So if I compile this, I can minimize this. Let me drag in this cube somewhere into my level. If I play my game, I can see the cube. And if I press 5, we can see my cube will be gold. Then if I press 5 again, it'll be white. Nice. So I could also just go over to my level blueprint. Multiple things can be listening for the event dispatcher. So I can right click and look for event begin play. And if I just right click and look for get player character, I will cast to the first person character. And then I'm going to drag off here and look for bind to example. And then I can drag off this event. And I can also go create event if I wanted to. And then from here, I can basically go create a matching event. I can call this print string. The advantage of doing this is it's not connected. Although I normally like my things to be connected, that way I can see everything. I want to drag off here and look for print string. And then I can make this a testing. And if I compile this, if I then play my game, I can press 5 and we can see my cube will swap to gold and it will also print string testing. We can also unbind event dispatchers. So let me show you how to do that. If say I go over to my BP cube, maybe on the second flip flop, I can drag off here and I can look for unbind example, and I can choose to unbind all of the events from this example event dispatcher or just this event. I'm going to select unbind event. So we'll just unbind this specific event from my event dispatcher. I will connect from here into here. And for the event that I'm unbinding, I can connect from event into here. And now if I were to compile, and let's say I play my game, if I press 5, it will turn gold. And then if I press 5, it will become white. But now I've unbinded the event. So if I press 5 again, my cube is not going to turn gold and then white again. So we can do that. And then with event dispatchers, if I just go back to my first person character, if I select the event dispatcher, we can also pass in variables. So I could add a new parameter to this and I could pass in a Boolean variable. If I compile this, and then let's say I go back to my BP cube, I can access this. Okay, so you now know about the 3 main ways we can make blueprints communicate with each other: casting, interfaces, and event dispatchers. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn even more about the fundamental tools and concepts of Unreal Engine, make sure to check out my Unreal Engine Fundamental course. There'll be a link to that in the description of the video. If you found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.